Hi, Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Hey, just a little upfront B-roll on the video you're about to watch. Unfortunately, this is the second one where I've been outside with my friggin' selfie stick, and I cut my chin off and everything down below there, and it's just stupid. Maybe someday I'll figure out how to run that stuff, but I'm not going to edit the video. I'm not going to go back and redo it again. I apologize again. But I thought I'd do this up front for you. I hope you enjoy the video. Stick with it. It doesn't matter what I look like. It's more if you're getting the thrust of what I'm trying to tell you, what I'm trying to say. So in the meantime, enjoy the video, and I'll catch you on the other side. Hey, Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Today's video, I wanted to talk about when you should quit your job to day trade Forex. But before I do that, I came out here to check on my wife Sue's flower garden, because the mid-season blooming daylilies are just going crazy. And pretty soon, probably by the end of this week, they'll start to fall off, and then we'll be looking at the late season bloomers. So let's just take a look at the yard as we walk out. And we have a brook that runs down the mountain here, and you can't even see the brook from all the overgrowth here that's come in. But when we get some heavy rains, you can hear it inside the house. It's really nice. And here we come up to the flower garden parts of things. I don't know what these flowers are. I call them beautiful. Sue does all that stuff. This is a little GoPro. I don't even have any zoom on this thing. Maybe if I do more videos. This is my 30-second video. So I guess I'm going to be doing this for a while. Maybe I'd get a little better camera. Although GoPro is really doing me quite well. So there's a little B-roll before we start getting into the meat of things. As I said, I wanted to talk about when you should quit your day job to trade. And I'd like to give a shout out to Langers, my friend in the UK, the Scruffy Trader, who did a video, should you quit your day job or should you quit your job to be a day trader? That's the title of his video. And he was responding to a subscriber of his who didn't have a lot of experience and had about 3 weeks of success trading a $500 account, was asking if he should quit his day job and start trading. I honestly can't imagine somebody that numb would even figure out how to trade Forex. It's inconceivable to me. I guess you have to have some sense in your head that you can quit your day job to trade, but there's certain criteria or things that need to be in place, right, before you make that decision to do that. I mean, God, I can't imagine somebody thinking that they're going to replace an income, even if it's a $8 an hour grocery bagger somewhere, you know, you're gonna replace your income. Trading to replace an $8 an hour income is tough unless you've got quite a bit of money behind you. You're not going to do it on a $1,000 account. You're probably not going to do it on a $10,000 account. Look, $8 an hour, that's 16 grand a year. You're not going to make 16 grand a year on a 10 grand account unless you're really good. There are a few that are. So in Langer's case, his video was titled, "Should You Quit Your Job to Be a Day Trader?" I want to take the other side of that equation and say, when do you quit your day job to trade? Well, why are we trading in the first place? So we can continue to work our day job and have some asshole tell us to hit our numbers or hit the door? No, we're trading so that we can get rid of the day job and replace our income from that. But you have to look a little further than that. You have to look at not only replacing your income, but you also have to be making enough money that you're parking money away in savings. Even if you're old like I am and you've got savings and whatever, you're still, the idea in any investment is to increase your net worth, not just pay your bills as you go. Because if you're only paying your bills as you go and the shit hits the fan or you run into a dry spell in your trading or something, you're not going to be able to pay your bills. So you've got to be trading for more money than just paying your bills, making just a straight wage. There's too many variables in trading to cast that much risk on your ability to provide for yourself and your family to trade just to make ends meet. It's a lot safer if you could live on say you could live on a $25,000 a year income. Where I live, you might be able to get away with that. If you live in Chicago or Boston or even some of the suburbs outside of those, you can't even buy a car and rent a car for $25,000 a year, or rent an apartment. So that probably isn't going to be good. But let's just say that you could survive on $25,000 a year. But that's what it is. It's surviving. You're just making the bills every month. You know, you might have $25 at the end of the month. Oh, you know, you go out to dinner maybe once or a month, or you got a cable bill you pay. So there's some frill that's built into that 25 grand a year. Maybe $3,000 is playtime. Okay, and so you could cut all the playtime out. You might have $2,500 more a year that you could save. But let's just say that $25,000 a year, that's going to pay your bills and give you this minimal standard of living that you need. Well, what kind of account size do you think that you're going to have in order to make $25,000 from it? It's if you're doing any kind of frequency of trading at all, you're going to hit those proverbial and probabilistic 6 losses in a row at some point. Yeah, you'll hit 6 winners in a row, but if you're like most people, you cut your winners short and you let your losers run, those 6 losses could wipe your account out. So you can't say that you're going to be able to have a $25,000 account and make $25,000 a year, because that'd be 100% return on your account. Can you make 100% return on your account? Yeah, I mean, if you really know what you're doing and you're really lucky. I mean, there's folks that have been able to double an account in 6 months. I took a small $5,000 account and doubled it in 4 months. And then, of course, right after that, I lost $15,000. So it just, you have to buffer this stuff in. I mean, let's say that a reasonable return on an account for intermediate level trader, not a beginner, but intermediate level trader, might be 30%. That's a shithouse full of money, boys and girls, because listen, where are you going to get 30% on your money? You could invest in real estate, for God's sake, and not get 30% a year on your money. You know, real estate property itself was appreciating at over 20 years or so, about 7.5%, 8%, like everything else, every other commodity. And then, you know, if you don't have any mortgages on it, then all your cash flow from your tenants will come at you. It'll throw your cash flow out. So, I mean, you know, you might be able to make substantial returns on that. But, I mean, even after 40 years of real estate investment and having properties, I didn't own but one of them without a mortgage. So I was paying a mortgage, and then whatever was left over after that, pulling that income out. I mean, I had enough income from my properties to retire a long time ago, but I didn't because I know the rules of the game. I kept working my job as a software engineer, and I was just using the money that I'm making from my investments in order to increase my net worth, so that when I came to the point where I was going to retire, I was able to, if you look there down at that house, I paid cash for that house without selling my previous house in order to get that one, because I had the cash to do that. I had the cash to buy that house and then put $40,000 into renovating it, because I'm smart. I know how this stuff works. Now, do you have 40 years that you want to fool around with real estate? Now, I had a couple of bad economic problems with that, and I lost $1 million net worth twice during that period. I came back each time, but you know, look, it's still it takes 10 years between each period in order to come back. So, do you have that much time in currency trading? Are you 50 years old and you run out of time, maybe? Or are you 26 years old and you don't have any skills, you don't have any interest? And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you're interested in something, but not what the job market perhaps is offering you. And so you're working some shithole job just to make ends meet. So if you can pull enough money together and make 30% return by being smart on your currency trading, that could help you ease out of the job situation, save more money, grow your account. It's going to take you a while until you get up to the point where you know, your account is going to be sufficient enough to replace your income and throw off enough cash to you know, add to your net worth, to put it in your savings or whatever like that. Well, look, a 30% of a $100,000 account is $30,000. That's pretty close to that $25,000 that you're making. Well, where in the fuck are you going to come up with $100,000 if you're only making $25,000 a year? And you're really working well at the 30% return on your bank. It's going to be a long haul. So the question is, can you quit your day job to trade? Yeah, you can, but there's a couple of things you need to look out for. You need to look out for the downturns on the trading, which will bring that income down, so that you better have some savings on hand in order to weather that storm. You better have a lot of savings on hand. But isn't that true in every job that you have? You know, you should have 6 months of savings on hand to weather those storms. As a software engineer, I was, for 33 years, I was fortunate that I made, for this area, a lot of money, and was able to put and have that 6 months of savings put away. And Jesus, you know, you get laid off. I only get laid off when the economy shit the bed. And then, you know, nobody was getting jobs. So I was out of work for 6 months at a time. My longest stretch was, I think it was 11 months I was out of work. Yeah. So I was fortunate I had my real estate income that was coming in there in order to buffer the savings that I had, or I'd have been in the tube. And so many folks are facing that. So don't put yourself in a situation where you don't like to do your work, and so you're going to fall back on currency trading, because it won't happen for you. You have to be objective about money. You can't trade for the money because you need the money. You got to trade because you love to trade, and the money will come. You know, it's as Langer's, the scruffy trader says, do what you love, and the money will follow. Well, no shit, it does. You know, I had a friend. This is back when I was in college, who had a friend who realized he could get a free college education by going into the Catholic seminary. And so he went into this, and the idea was, I'll go into the Catholic seminary, I'll take all my courses, I'll get my college education, I'll get my college degree, and then right before I have to take my final vows and all that stuff, I'll just go, because I don't want to be a priest, I just want a college education. Well, he only lasted about a year, because there were so many theological courses that he had to take that he didn't have any interest in them, and he was failing them. He wasn't doing any good. You can't make money doing something that you don't like, and if you do, and you have to force yourself to do that, why do you think people are dropping dead of heart attacks all the time? Because they work jobs they don't like. Currency trading is a way for us to get out of that. You know, I'm 71 years old, and so I had my 40 or 50 year working life, and I had the real estate behind me to do what I was able to do. If I was starting over today, and that's why a lot of the videos and the blog posts at longwoodcurrencytrading.com address is, hey, you guys that are in that 21 to 34 year old age group, let's get on the stick here. Let's take a look at this currency trading stuff, because this could be the way out for you. This could make it happen. But you have to be realistic about it. You can't just trade for 3 or 4 months and go, oh, woo, you know, I've been trading with a $3,000 account. Now I'm going to go out and I'm going to max my credit cards, or I'm going to sell my Jeep, and I'm going to get 20,000 bucks, and I'm going to run that fucker to $40,000 a year. It isn't going to happen. Be realistic about what's going on. If you are working a job that you hate, don't run for the job into currency trading. Use the currency trading as the key that's going to get you out of that, but it's going to take time in order for you to do that. Now, maybe you think your system or your stuff that you're working on, you can do better than 30% return on your bank a year. Maybe you can do 60% or 80%. You know, my trading is 0.5% a day. That's all I'm looking to make. So if I do that 4 days a week, take 1 day off, I make 2% a week, 8% a month. That's 80% a year. And so let's say I fuck it up a couple of times and I only get 60% a year. Well, man, on $100,000, that's $60,000. On a $30,000 account, you know, figure that out. What's 60% of 30,000? It's 18,000. You're almost at job replacement income on a $30,000 account if you can get a 60% return. What's the likelihood you're going to be able to do that? Well, you're not going to be able to learn this stuff on your own, that's for sure. I figured that out myself, because I took the $40,000 simulated account money that they offered me, and when I opened my big live account, I went in there with $40,000. And man, I just got flushed out real fast because I didn't know the full rules of the game. It's not what you do in real estate and in other investment vehicles is not directly mappable into the Forex market. A lot of it is, and I've said many times, it is mappable. But there's certain things that create such a differential. One is your emotional issues. And the second one is the time that's involved in this kind of thing. If you can master those two things, yeah, 60% a year, maybe that's doable for you. Well, okay, well, don't screw it up by not following your rules. And don't think that because you've got 2 or 3 months of experience that you're going to be able to replicate that. Oh, I doubled my account in 3 months. Well, that's great. Do that 3 more times. And that'll give you a year, almost a year, of seeing what's going to go on. You know, in a year, you ought to be able to have pretty good idea of your ability in the market, because you would have seen just about everything that market has to display. The only thing that you won't see for a long, long time is about every 10 years, everything gets flushed down the shitter. We're going through that now with this pandemic. 2008, it was the mortgage crisis. Before that, it was the dot-com bust. There's always something happening that's going to flush everybody out. So until you've gone through one of those situations, one of those trading situations, it's going to be very difficult for you to judge what it would be like to do that. You know how you get practicing for that? Trade the non-farm payroll. Everybody tells you don't trade the non-farm payroll. Fuck that. You better trade that non-farm payroll, because someday the whole fucking market is going to be non-farm payroll. You need to get that experience so that if you're just trading for your income and all of a sudden you lose 40% of your account, which is not hard to do, that you've got enough money in that account that you can survive. You can't be getting lucky on a $20,000 account for year after year after year after year, just paying yourself a wage, and all of a sudden you get hit with this massive shit and you drop your account to $10,000, and then you're running scared, and so maybe the 10,000 bucks now you're only making 20% a year. And then maybe the markets change and they flatline out. You don't know. You just don't know. So it isn't a matter of should you quit your job to day trade. Yeah, you should. But when to do it, that's what's important. And what criteria you need to have in order to make that transition from your job to trading full time. And you don't have to wait until you're 70 like I am. And well, I didn't retire at 70. I retired quite a few years ago. And I mean, I worked. I think I was 66 or something like that. I just picked up Medicare and all that stuff, and I could have gone out then, but I really enjoyed software engineering, so I just stuck with it, and they got laid off, and I thought, well, I still really like this, and the money's really good, and I wasn't trading then. I had real estate, so I had buffer. I had what they call runway. I had money that I could rely on. And so I looked for a job, and it took me 10 months to get a job. And I realized that job I got, I was very lucky that I got that one. And it was just a contract for a year. And at the end of the year, I was saying, man, this is probably going to be terminal. And then I got to thinking, well, maybe they'll keep me on. They didn't keep me on. At the end of the year, you're out here. And so I started looking for another job. I was still young. I don't know, I was 66 or 7, something like that. I could do this again. I don't mind, driving down the highway every day, getting up and doing that stuff, because I enjoyed the challenge of what I was doing. And man, I just couldn't find anything. I couldn't find anything. And when I'm looking for a job, I work 4 hours a day, 5 days a week at that. That's how I start out my mornings. And there's a lot of days I'll work 8 hours a day, because my job is to get a job, not to fuck around. And I did that. And there was nothing. I mean, people weren't even getting back to my resumes that they had even seen it. It was like I was sending shit into black holes. And I just said, I don't want to do this. I'm out of here. And then I retired. So I had options. I had choices. Man, don't get to be 50 years old and find out that you don't have those choices. So if you're in that 21 to 34-year-old age group, you are really striving to get out of that job. But don't get out of that job until you've got a nice, secure nest egg that you can fall back on when things go to shit, because things will go to shit. They really will. So try to put some logic into your planning. I know what I'm doing. I'd be happy to chat with you about how to organize your life so that you can be successful at this stuff. Look, I've spent 50 years teaching martial arts and karate. I'm hold an advanced black belt degree, run an association. It's just a small group, because there are few people that really want to do the work, but that's okay. But what we teach is, we not only teach karate, we teach ethics and philosophy and psychology. We teach history and finance. We teach all spectrums of things that are available to us as human beings to participate in, because we need to know those things. Each black belt rank that we go through has 16 or 17 books that need to be read, and 3/4 of them don't have anything to do with karate. They have to do with life. So I know what I'm doing when I work with somebody and try to show them how to prepare their lives so that when they get to that dangerous 50-year-old level where you wake up out of bed one day and go, holy crap, I'm so screwed. You just don't want to be in that situation. You really, 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 really don't. So, I mean, if you want information about that, I'd be happy to chat with you a little bit. I'm not going to go into a consulting service for free on this stuff. I don't have time to sit there and write and respond to emails all day like a lot of guys. I'm retired and I'm enjoying my life. So don't waste my time sending me fucking emails and looking for a free ride. I mean, you go to the Scruffy Trader's website, he complains quite a bit about all the freeloaders that are emailing him. Give us your system, show us this, give us this. We don't want to pay, you don't charge for it, but give it to us, hand it to us. What isn't that easy? There's no magic pill to this stuff. You have to learn your craft, just like if you're going to learn how to paint a painting. What are you going to do? Tell the artist? What's the secret to painting a painting that'll sell? Well, what's he going to tell you? He's going to tell you to go fuck yourself is what he's going to tell you. And that's what we do to people like that. So don't waste my time. And don't waste anybody else's time with crazy shit. If you have a real serious desire to do something better with your life, and if that happens to involve trading, I'd be more than happy to chat with you. If you get into the situation where you want me to be a mentor, okay, then it's going to cost you a shithouse full of money. But the people that can help you are worth the money that they charge you. If you don't think that I'm worth the money, you don't have to pay me. So don't bitch about it. God almighty. That's what's happening with Langers. He doesn't charge anybody any money to do, he doesn't sell any courses or anything. If somebody wants to take an hour or two of his time, he's going to charge him a couple of $100 to do that. But he gives the money away for free. I don't give nothing away for free, but nobody else gave me anything for free. So if you're going to do it from me, you better not. Go to somebody else. You get a $200 course or one of these stupid fucking $40 Udemy courses on how to trade currencies. It's the most stupid thing in the world. You spend $40 5,000 times and you still won't learn a fucking thing. It's up to you how you want to spend your money. But you're not going to waste my time by foolishness. So don't bother to badmouth me in comments or anything like that, because it doesn't bother me. I made the money. What do you want to do? I can show you how to do that. Just watch my videos. It's all there. The secrets are all there. And this is the biggest secret I can give you. Don't quit your day job to trade until you're financially and emotionally ready to do that, because otherwise you're going to be very, very disappointed. And not only that, it's going to be really tough to go back to that day job. Thanks for watching my video. Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Have a great day, and have a great trading day.